Hi everybody, this is Raxel1447 and welcome back to another episode of Creepypasta Investigations. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I started college and it's starting to hit me in full force, and, well, other shit's been happening. So today, I promised last time that even after I wussed out and decided not to do Slenderman, I decided, and I said I was going to go with haunted cartridges and haunted games, and I know some people are going to say, do Ben! Not yet, since Majora's Mask as a whole creeps me out even as a normal game, not as a creepy-ass hack. Moving on. I decided to do one that was brought to the attention of a friend of mine on DeviantArt. Since the asshole decided to put an icon of it in a reply as we were talking, you bastard, scared the living shit out of me, I realized that, wait, that's Smile Dog. What is Smile Dog? Smile Dog is apparently one of the very first chain letters that ever hit the early internet in the 1990s. It is a picture, an image, a very disturbing image of a dog with very realistic, straight, white, and assumingly very sharp teeth, with a barely visible, empty, open hand pointing towards the dog as if beckoning for something, as if beckoning the dog. This may not seem so scary, right? Well, to some people. To other people, it is very scary and very disturbing. And no, I didn't download any of the pictures, because even if it is real, I'm not going to take my chances. So, this pasta. What's it about? Well, luckily for me, I have the link. Smile Dog's story consists of a classic horror setup. An amateur writer visits a house of a lady who supposedly has a story for which he can borrow from. Rather than speak, however, the lady has locked herself up in her room, crying and ranting about nightmares and visions and various other problems. All these center around a floppy disk. Yeah, this is the 1990s, alright. There's floppy disks that she has been given that contain the image of Smile.jpg, which is smile.dog. Other cases of this have cropped up. Viewing this image incites insanity, and no copy of the exact image ever exists on the web, though likenesses of it do. The true image of Smile.jpg is unrecognized due to the effect it has on the viewer, that is, they wind up dead. Attaching the file, that is, spreading the word, is the only way to save oneself from the Smile.dog that appears in one's dreams, demanding to spread the word. Some say that the original legend began with an image of the devil. Is any of this real? How many of it's fake? And where is the real image of Smile.jpg? We don't know. And I know it's my job to find out, but I never really found out much. But there were many interpretations of Smile Dog. There's what people claim are the originals. The most well-known one is one that isn't even a husky, and most of the versions appear to be huskies. The most famous one is the one with the red in it, the blood red in it, and the hand is barely visible in the background. There's some in black and white, some re-digitalized ones using Photoshop, and another very recent one that actually pretty much scares the living shit out of me. However, there is one picture that is supposed to be the original image. It is the picture of the Smile Dog with the barely visible hand, and it has that white empty space down the below of it, except this time it's not empty. It has bloody fingerprints. Now, of course, on this wiki page, on this Creepypasta wiki page that I am on now, that will give you a link to the wiki, there is a digitally enhanced version. It is unknown if this version causes mental defects. View at your own risk. So, as you can probably tell, it's also my job to become a mental masochist and do this kind of shit. You all saw what I went through in Lavender Town. I kind of don't want to go through that shit again. That's another reason why I'm not kicking these out as often as I should, but moving on. So, let me see here. Yeah, I know, it's almost 2 in the morning. I'm not very organized right now. This is hastily put together. Oh, while I'm thinking of what to say next, thank you to everybody who's given me really good feedback on my first 2 videos. I never really expected to gain a few fans, but maybe this is what I should be doing. And I'm sorry these are coming out as late as they should. And I'd love to hear more suggestions, you guys. And don't say Lost Silver. I'm not doing Lost Silver until very, very, very late. Even though it's on my flash drive. It's haunting me. Please, 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 please don't ask me to do Lost Silver for the time being. Now, as mentioned before, the only way for it not to be affected is to spread the word. As I mentioned before, this was an early chainmail and the internet was just getting started back in the 1990s, because it obviously mentioned a floppy disk of all things. Seriously, do those things exist anymore? So, pretty much, the only way for you to... If you would view the image, then this creepy-ass dog would come up to you in your nightmares, night after night, demand that you spread the word. And if you didn't, the nightmares would drive you insane, eventually leading to suicide. However, the only way for this not to happen and make the nightmares go away is to attach this to an email and send it to everybody you know. Now, the question is, would you just go ahead and give in to temptation and do it to get it over with? Or would one possibly fight into the very end? What would I do personally? I'm not entirely sure. I think many of us would like to believe that we would fight towards the very end, but human beings are actually very weak sometimes. If not most of the time. Now, some people say that it's just a hoax, some weird Photoshop magic, and some people said that, oh, this is probably just someone's nice image of a dog that someone decided to make a sick joke of. All of this is very much true. This is the internet. Not everything on the internet's true. So some people say it's like hypnosis. It's supposed to scare you, and if you look at it knowing it's going to scare you, then it's ultimately going to scare you. Now, I didn't really read about Smile Dog until now. I mean, I saw the images, I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with this kind of crap. And so I never really did this. Now, some people said... Now, of course, what I read earlier is that it started with the visage of the devil himself. Is this possible? Well, the question is, how did it get from the visage of the devil to the visage of a creepy husky with realistically white, straightened human teeth that are probably very sharp and a hand beckoning in the background? What is all of this supposed to mean? And how exactly does this image cause insanity? Can an image cause insanity? Is there something deeply psychological within an image that can cause this? Now, there have been plenty of cases of suicide. However, how many of them might have been prompted by Smile Dog? We never know. So there are people like me. I don't believe in chain letters. In fact, those chain comments on YouTube made by trolls, those people can go fuck themselves. I fucking hate those things so much. And people hate it when you repost them. People hate it when you make them. People hate it when you repost them. And plus, even if it's good, I don't do chain emails or comments or messages or whatever. So that's another thing. If you ever get a hold of my email address, please don't give me chain emails. Pisses me off. But how can an image like this affect insanity? Well, it all depends on the person itself. I never like to have a generic situation for a multiple population of people. It makes no sense, considering the fact that every single human being is emotionally, genetically, physically, and mentally different. Now, because I have a higher tolerance for this kind of shit, even though I despise horror, even though I'm already mentally unstable as is, I can still handle this a little bit better. The image fucking creeps me out and I won't be able to sleep for a couple nights. Thank God all my classes are in the afternoon, late evening. I already experience high levels of paranoia even when I don't experience something creepy. And usually it's a paranoia of someone breaking into my house with a gun. So if I can handle that, I can probably handle this. Hey, I handled Lavender Town, and I'm going through the stages of handling Slenderman. Just checking out my window, guys. No big deal. But is it that powerful? If this was real, if someone was to chain this, how many people would be affected by it? How many people would give in? How many people would resist the urge? How many people would die from this? That's the main question I'm asking. My job with Creepypasta Investigations is to pick a creepypasta apart one bit by bit and to see exactly how it works. And I want to know what's so special about these Smile Dog photos. Okay, one of the newer ones I just saw fucking creeped me. What the fuck? And this original image with the bloody fingerprints, it's unnerving, yes, but to cause insanity? Well, here's what I think. It could be something paranormal, and it most certainly could be the work of the devil. But what I think is that it's like a train wreck. You can't stop, you want to look away, but you can't stop looking at it. As for one of my witness accounts, and I gotta thank everybody who cooperated with me on this one. I know this was a short notice, and I know you guys don't like hearing my voice, but thank you very much for those of you who cooperated in watching this video. I glance for a few seconds, but then look away. Honestly, I tried to avoid it, but I keep looking back. It's, like I said, it's like a train wreck. You want to look away, but you just can't. Now, I asked 3 people, 3 of my good friends, to look at the pictures on the wiki page I provided them and asked them to give me in detail how I felt about them. One of them was, I felt a bit unnerved, I'll be honest. Especially the updated pictures. Just made me feel a bit uncomfortable. Now you see, this person right here, who's a dear friend of mine, he just feels unnerved. I mean, it creeps him out. That's it. He just gets shivers down his spine. Another witness account said, honestly, that seriously scared the shit out of me. And to be honest, I have to agree with her. These photos did actually scare the living shit out of me too. Some people, it did scare them a lot. And the third was, the most normal ones make me think it's cute. The others are just weird. I can't really explain it. Yet understandable. For each of us reacted differently. From slight uncomfortableness to complete scare the shit out of them to I don't know what to feel. It's just weird. How did it make me feel? It made me feel really uneasy. And it's honestly scaring me. Now I'm looking, practically almost staring at the digital enhanced version that is above the red version. That one does creep me out, mainly because it is in HD and there's a lot of detail. Looking at this, I noticed that looking at all the pictures, I noticed that there are 3 common things of this. I probably mentioned before, but for some reason I'm feeling these very important. You got first off, I always find that in most of the pictures, the dog's breed is a husky. Can someone tell me why? Why a husky? Huskies are one of the most adorable little snot balls ever. I fucking love huskies. And I'm not that much of a dog fan. Huskies are fucking adorable. They're loyal, and they make really good sled dogs. So why a husky? Another thing is that it's smiling a creepily human smile. And you usually be like, okay, it's a human smile, what of it? It's unnatural because it's on the muzzle of a dog. A dog's muzzle protrudes out. A dog is physically unable to smile like this, and it's also physically unable to have highly realistic, sparkling white, straight human teeth. Another thing is the hand in the background. There's somewhere in this article about the hand. Here it is. However, all alleged victims often the same description of a photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as appearing similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by a flash of the camera, sits in a dim room, the only background detail that is visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as beckoning. Of course, most attention is given to the dog, or dog creature. Some victims are more certain than others about what they have claimed to see. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split into a wide grin, revealing 2 rows of very white, very straight, very sharp, very human-looking teeth. I'm paying more attention to the hand than anything. The dog freaks me out, but the hand is very, very odd. Why is the hand there? Whose hand is it? And in the digitally enhanced version, I'm noticing the hand is covered in blood. Sometimes the hand is barely noticeable. This black and white one I'm looking at, the hand is very noticeable. In one of the recent imitations, I don't see the hand at all. And in the quote-unquote original, the hand is indeed open and beckoning as if calling it. So, my argument, maybe this is the dog of the devil himself. Maybe the hand is the devil's hand, disguised as a bloody human hand. And the dog, very unnatural, very disturbing, very scary, much like the devil himself, could be the devil's dog. Or maybe it could be the devil himself. We will never know. We may never know. Now, a couple of the symptoms I've heard was temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. And the original, some people claim it's the original, some people claim it's not. Some people claim it doesn't even exist at all. There are several variations to what the original is. What do I think the original is? It's honestly too hard to tell. Between the, let me do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Between all 7 images, I can't tell. I can't place a logical guess which original is it. I have to rule out the one in red, and I have to rule out the most recent one, the one that is possibly the one that scares me the most on here, the one added by Moose Juice. Those two aren't possibly the real ones. Why? A couple reasons. Only in one of them I see the hand, but that one doesn't even look like a husky. The husky is supposed to be normal looking. It can be demonic, but the husky is supposed to be normal looking, just with an unnatural mouth, teeth, and creepy ass blue eyes with no pupils. I also noticed that they have no pupils. Possibly a sign of possession, maybe? And the recent one looks like a papier-mâché mask that would be used as sacrifices. I don't see the hand in it at all. Now, the red one is the most well-known picture of it. But it is the one most often used because it looks more demonic. However, though, I think we all know that evil can slip its way into the most creepiest yet slyest forms. There are many definitions of evil, and evil comes in many forms. Now, another picture. Now, they say that the devil's visage can make sane men mad. Maybe the dog, as I said before, is the devil. Maybe that's the face the devil chooses. Because of it, anyone who looks at it goes insane. Now, another question we have to ask is, why is spreading the word, quote unquote, spreading the word the only way to keep one safe? Why is that the only safe method? Why is emailing this to other people, getting rid of the nightmares, keeping you safe? Maybe because the devil wants people to know that he's out there. He's out there and he's waiting for his moment. He's waiting for his moment to get you, or to get you. Yeah, you in the back. Put down the fucking cell phone. I guess he just wants to prove to everybody that he's gonna be out there. He's waiting. He's waiting to get his hands on you. Now, like I said, this could all just be a chilly chainmail that's been revived from the 1990s. And this is 2012. This is not very recent. It's recently exploded in popularity for one reason or another, but that's because they claim that more cases have propped up. But 1990, if I'm doing my math right, that's about 22 years ago, give or take. And the internet's been around since 1980, maybe. Late 1980s, early 1990s. We've been in a technological boom for about 22, 25 years. And they're saying that Smile Dog just cropped up at the internet's very beginnings, when the internet was just starting to become a thing now. So why haven't we heard more about it? Why hasn't it been on the news? Why hasn't anyone found any original copies of it? Why hasn't anyone even found the floppy? Someone might have found something by now. Someone might have also studied this more in depth. And here's another thing I found noteworthy. Besides for this and a few other sources, Smile.jpg has no Wikipedia page. Smile Dog doesn't have its own Wikipedia page. For some reason I find this odd, because you can find a Wikipedia page for pretty much freaking everything. From apples to child molesters, there's a wiki page for it. So why doesn't this one have its own wiki page? A normal wiki page. Not the Creepypasta wiki. A normal Wikipedia page. There are many different types of wikis, but the most famous, most used Wikipedia page. It's mentioned in a Wikipedia page as an internet phenomena, but it gets a very brief mentioning. So why doesn't it have its own wiki page? Why doesn't it have its own wiki link? Why are the Creepypasta wikis and a few other reliable/unreliable sources have it? Maybe to prevent people from seeing it on a larger scale? Perhaps. If so, then this could hold some element of truth. Now, I've been blabbing on for about 22 minutes, and you must be thinking, well, you must be staring at all 7 of those pictures for quite a while, and even longer when you've been doing the initial research. How do you feel? Unnerved? Disturbed? Paranoid, because I keep glancing over my shoulder? I'm not a fan of dogs. I'm clearly a cat person. For those of you who've known me long enough, my persona on the internet is usually a girl with lynx ears and an unrealistic lynx tail. I fucking love cats. Dogs, not a big fan of. So the fact that there's a creepypasta with a creepy image of a dog didn't strike me. Now, the very first thing of Smile Dog I encountered was seeing the red image of the Smile Dog. And that immediately rung up alarm saying, "Hey, stay away from this. You don't want to deal with this." And I listened until now. Thanks, Hunt. Bastard. But this motivated me to get my ass up and make a video. So, there ends my notes, and there ends my thoughts. So, my conclusions? Well, this is hard to tell. This is a hard one. All the creepypastas are hard ones. Now, if there was a picture like this floating around, then wouldn't someone with the government seen this by now? And even if they just passed it on, wouldn't there be a high concentrated numbers of suicides? Since people look at it, download it, some of them would say, "I don't have time for this," view it for a second and close it. Or some people say, "Hey, it's kind of cool," and download it and not pass it on. Wouldn't there be a high rate of suicides depending on how many people saw this? Wouldn't there be something that we could find, something paper, something solid describing this? And how would Smile Dog find its way on the internet in the first place? And this is kind of like a cold case. If Smile Dog's been around for as long as they say, then the trail has obviously gone cold. And plus, with the internet nowadays, you can never believe anything they say on the internet. So the mention of having nightmares of a demonic dog with white teeth and an open hand in the background, people would deem you crazy. A few people would get it, but not enough. And that is if you didn't give in to the temptation to spread the word. But at the same time, this all could be very plausible. Chainmails were going around even before computers were out. Sometimes someone would get a chain letter. Sometimes someone would get a letter in the mail saying if you don't pass this on to the next person you think of, bad luck will happen. Blah, 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 blah. Chain mail has been going around for a long time. Ever since we've had mail, it's been going around for a long time. Some jackass decides to send you something and claims if you don't send it, this will happen to you. And it gains popularity just like that. It gains popularity because people are paying attention to it. Well then, wouldn't this be an even bigger thing? Why? What happened? What happened in between 1990 to now? Why is it now suddenly gaining in population? Why is it becoming so explosive? It's almost becoming as explosive as Slenderman lately. Why is all this becoming so explosive? Why is all this getting around just now? Are people deciding to go ahead and spread the word? Maybe that's what I'm doing right now. Maybe I'm unintentionally spreading the word. If I am truly intentionally sorry. I really am. I don't mean to cause any of you guys to go insane. I don't like inflicting my insanity on other people, to be honest. So, is it real? That's the basic question. That's a very hard question to answer. It's plausible. It's very plausible. It's improbable, but it's not impossible. So I'm going to be spreading a new word right now. I'm going to be spreading a new word, and I want everybody to do me a favor and spread this word. Resist the urge. And if you get a chain email with the subject line, "Smile, God loves you," don't open it. I am spreading a new word now, and the new word is don't let the smile dog overtake you. Don't open the email. Don't download it. In fact, after this, you might as well just delete the link from your browser. Be careful what you open, and if you guys find any more convincing evidence, please contact me either via YouTube or my DeviantArt page. I'm not giving out my email address. Not yet. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as the other couple, and don't know what the next one will be. I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable with Slenderman, but I'm still a bit uneasy. But depends on how bored I get, how light my schedule is, or how many people say, "Hey, do one of Slenderman next," or if I get an even better suggestion, then I'm open to suggestions. But you guys know me, Raxel1447, and remember, resist the urge, don't spread the smile. Good night, and good luck.